welcome to the Deep Dive.
Great to be here.
Today we're doing something a little different. We're actually stepping into a fictional story to pull out some very real insights.
That's right. We're looking at excerpts from The Final Ascent. It's book 8 in Julian Kelly's Season of Success series.
And it follows this entrepreneur, Jay Calderon, at a really critical point.
Yeah, a real turning point. And we're using his story, this drama, basically as a case study.
Exactly. Our mission, really, is to unpack all this high-stakes action and find, practical takeaways about building something big. Strategy, rivalry.
The human cost. What happens when your past catches up? Things that are relevant, whether you're running a startup or, well, just navigating complex challenges.
Finding those universal truths hidden in the story.
Precisely. What can Jay's struggles actually teach us?
Okay, so let's dive in. The source material opens with Jay Calderon seemingly at the absolute top, his empire's peak.
Right, the view from his San Francisco office. The book paints this picture of the city like a living, breathing entity below him. It's that image of ultimate success.
But almost immediately, there's this warning note, isn't there?
Oh, yeah. The preface basically says, at the peak of success lies the seed of its demise. It's this idea that hitting the top isn't the end goal, it's just a new level of danger.
More vulnerabilities, maybe.
Exactly, unique vulnerabilities. It's not peace, it's a different kind of battlefield.
And the main conflict becomes clear fast. His past is coming back to bite him. Not in some vague way, but like specific people, specific choices.
Old enemies showing up. The source is really clear. This isn't just a business problem. It's personal.
Yeah.
Deeply personal.
Which makes you wonder, right? Can you ever really outrun your past in business? Especially when you become successful, become a target.
This story definitely suggests maybe not. Maybe those things are just waiting for you higher up the mountain.
So how does it start? Chapter 1 talks about the first signs of trouble. It's not one big thing, is it?
No, it's more like death by 1,000 cuts, almost. Attacks on his assets, weird fluctuations in the market that seem designed to destabilize things.
Even tech disruptions aimed at his operations. It feels coordinated.
It is. And then we meet the guy apparently pulling the strings. Vincent?
Not a new player.
No, definitely not. He's described as a rival from way back, someone Jay crossed paths with years ago, and who clearly hasn't forgotten or forgiven Jay's success. Resentment seems key.
What stood out to me was how Vincent operates. It's not direct.
Right. The source mentions proxies and shell companies, basically using stand-ins and complicated corporate structures to hide who's really behind the attacks.
So he's targeting key parts of Jay's business, but making it hard to prove it's him.
Exactly. It's calculated. Strategic warfare using layers of complexity.
That feels like a very modern kind of threat,
Yeah.
Not just head-on competition.
Absolutely. It's a lesson right there. You need defenses for the obvious stuff, sure, but also systems to figure out who's really attacking you when the pressure comes from weird angles. How do you unmask the hidden player?
Jay's advisor, Richard, his first instinct is hit back first. Be proactive.
Makes sense. But Jay hesitates a bit, right? He seems worried about the personal history, how easily these things can spiral if it's just about ego or revenge.
Which leads us straight into the next part. Old Wounds, New Frontiers, Chapter 2.
Yeah, and this is where we get more backstory on Jay and Vincent. They were competitors early on, but the source says somewhere along the line, things got out of hand.
And Jay's perspective is that Vincent blames him for past failures.
That's how Jay sees it, that Vincent thinks destroying Jay now will somehow redeem his own past. It's deeply psychological.
And Vincent isn't messing around. He escalates things quickly.
Totally. Ethan, another advisor, brings news. Vincent's trying to lock down a partnership with a key supplier in Silicon Valley.
Trying to cut Jay off at the source? Ouch.
Yeah, attacking the supply chain. And at the same time, he's apparently talking to venture capitalists.
Trying to raise money for a hostile takeover of one of Jay's subsidiaries.
Right. So it's hitting from multiple angles, supply and corporate structure. It forces Jay's team into reactive mode, just trying to put out fires.
Jay knows they have to move fast, right? Call the supplier, talk to investors.
It's a scramble, just trying to shore things up before Vincent gets too far ahead.
But then it gets even more intense. The personal stuff really comes out.
Oh, yeah. This is where it shifts into psychological warfare, too. Vincent sends that message.
You're running out of time, Jay. I hope you're ready to lose everything. V. Chilling. Pure provocation.
And Jay fires back, right? Something like, I'm just getting started. You should be the one worried, Jay.
That exchange. It's more than just plot. It shows how personal feelings, ego, history, it all becomes part of the strategy at this level.
It really does. It makes you think, how much do old grudges or just raw emotion actually drive huge business decisions? We like to think it's all rational.
But maybe not always. This story suggests those psychological games are a big part of the battle.
Definitely. But then, chapter 3 arrives. And it's a gut punch.
Yeah, this is where it gets really bad. The threat isn't just external anymore.
No. Vincent hasn't just been attacking from the outside. He's got someone inside Calderon Enterprises he's infiltrated.
And the way he did it. Systematic. Targeting profitable divisions to cause chaos from within.
Using key players, the source says. People who were strategically placed to feed him information. It wasn't accidental, it was planned.
You can feel Jay's reaction reading it. Just infuriated, disheartened. It's a massive violation of trust.
Hits right at the core, doesn't it? Undermining the legacy he built, the team he trusted.
And Layla, the investigator, starts digging into the finances.
And finds money being funneled out, large sums going to offshore accounts, those complex paths designed to make tracing almost impossible.
But the trails lead back inside the company, to employees.
And then comes the bombshell revelation at the end of chapter 3. The main suspect
is Richard, one of Jay's oldest friends. His most trusted advisor.
The evidence, as laid out, seems pretty damning. Financial records, communications, going back months.
Wow. So, Chapter 4 digs into why. What was Richard's motive?
And this is where it gets really painful, and maybe offers a difficult lesson. Richard apparently felt overlooked, unappreciated.
Tired of being in Jay's shadow.
Seems like it. He felt he deserved more recognition, and Vincent offered him, quote, a way out, freedom. But the source emphasizes it wasn't sudden.
Well, no.
No. It says he harbored bitterness and resentment for years. It built up slowly. A gradual internal breakdown fueled by feeling slighted.
That's a scary thought. That long-term loyalty can just erode like that.
It is, and it really hammers home that point about recognition. It's not always just about money, right? It can be about feeling valued, seen, having a real stake in the success.
Makes you think about your own team, doesn't it? What blind spots might you have? Are you truly recognizing the contributions of key people before resentment builds?
That's the million-dollar question this scenario raises, because the source shows even decades of friendship aren't immune when ego, perceived neglect, and outside manipulation combine.
So Jay has to make this awful decision. Confront Richard.
Yeah, Chapter 4 describes it vividly. Jay feels he has to set a precedent, protect the company. Betrayal at this level can't be tolerated.
The boardroom confrontation sounds intense. Jay laying out the evidence.
Richard trying to justify it, blaming Jay for making him feel unappreciated. And Jay's just swirling with emotions, anger, sadness, disappointment.
It's incredibly human, that moment, caught between friendship and the survival of everything he's built.
The outcome is swift, though. Jay demands his resignation immediately. Non-disclosure agreement, threats of legal action.
And Richard agrees.
He agrees, he's defeated. But even as he leaves, he throws out one last warning. Vincent isn't done yet.
Leaves a scar, though. The source reflects on that, right? The necessary pain of it.
Absolutely. Highlights the challenges of trust when the stakes are astronomical. Jay admits, even after Richard's gone, that feeling of betrayal lingers. It's a wound.
Okay, so Richard is out, but Vincent isn't. What happens next? Chapters 5 and 6, Unseen Adversaries and Chasing Lost Trails.
Right, and here Vincent's tactics shift again. They become subtler, maybe more insidious.
Oh, so?
He starts quietly buying up shares in Jay's key subsidiary companies, using more shell companies, more proxies, trying to build influence from the inside without setting off alarm bells.
So not a direct attack, but creeping control.
Exactly. The source says he builds up significant stakes in 3 subsidiaries. It's like a slow squeeze, gaining power stealthily. It turns Jay's team into detectives, basically chasing lost trails to figure out who actually owns these shares.
And Jay starts wondering about the timing, right? Yeah. Why isn't Vincent making a big move if he has this leverage?
Yeah, that's the puzzle. Is he waiting for Jay to be weaker? Is he setting up something even bigger that they just can't see yet? The uncertainty itself is a weapon.
And Vincent's also playing mind games with Jay's people now.
That's another layer. Trying to sow doubt, spread rumors, turn people against Jay. It forces Jay to realize he needs to actively fight for loyalty, remind everyone what they stand for, the mission.
It's not just about the money or the structure anymore. It's about the team's morale and unity.
Totally. And Chapter 6 really drives home the why behind Vincent's relentless attacks. It connects everything back to their early rivalry.
Saying it wasn't just business even back then.
Right. The source states Vincent wanted to destroy Jay from the beginning. This isn't just competition, it's a vendetta, a long-term, deep-seated animosity.
That context makes his current actions seem less like pure business strategy and more like obsession.
It elevates the whole conflict, doesn't it? From a corporate spat to something much more personal and dangerous.
And knowing this, Layla comes up with a pretty radical idea.
Yeah, she suggests using Vincent's own tactics against him, basically fight fire with fire.
Destabilize his operations from within, exploit his weaknesses, like his ego.
Make him doubt his own allies. It's mirroring Vincent's infiltration strategy. High risk, definitely.
But maybe necessary.
In this kind of deeply personal fight, the book suggests it might be seen as the only way. It's ethically tricky terrain, for sure.
So they start planning these counter moves in Chapter 7. Gathering intel, identifying Vincent's allies, trying to fix the internal weak spots Richard's betrayal exposed.
Chapter 7, Paths to Power, it's all about getting back on the offensive, being proactive.
Trying to control the narrative, control the game, make Vincent react to them.
Exactly. Stop playing defense. But even with these plans taking shape, Jay still feels uneasy.
Like something's missing.
Yeah. He senses there's a piece of Vincent's strategy, his real endgame, that they haven't figured out yet. He worries they're focused on the immediate threats and missing the bigger picture.
That lingering doubt. It must be exhausting, always wondering what's coming next.
It shows the psychological toll. And the source emphasizes how crucial Jay's core team, Layla, Ethan, David, Emma, becomes here. Their unity and resolve are everything, especially after the betrayal.
Building that trust back up, relying on each other.
Absolutely essential when you're facing this kind of multi-front war. But still, that nagging feeling for Jay, what is he missing?
And then the final chapter we looked at, Chapter 8, Full Circle, takes a sharp turn.
It really does. It pulls back from the immediate fight. Jay goes back to his old neighborhood, to this park.
Where he met someone important years ago.
Yeah, this old man figure who apparently gave him some foundational advice about success when he was just starting out.
Why bring this up now in the middle of the crisis?
I think it serves to recenter the narrative on the meaning of it all. Jay remembers the old man's words. Success isn't just about what you build,
but how you build it and who you become.
Exactly. Understanding yourself, knowing who you are, what you stand for, and what you're willing to fight for. That's the core message recalled.
And Jay has this moment of clarity, doesn't he?
He does. He realizes that despite everything, the attacks, the betrayal, the cost, he hasn't compromised his core values. And the source suggests that might be his real achievement. Not the billions, but the integrity he held onto.
Wow. So it's a return to the beginning physically to find a deeper meaning, a sense of closure almost.
Yeah. He even encounters the old man again, who sort of reaffirms the lessons. Jay says he wouldn't change the journey because it led him to this self-understanding.
And the old man's final advice.
It's simple but powerful. The answers you seek are already within you. You just have to listen.
So the big takeaway from this whole fictional deep dive, as the final ascent presents it, seems to be that this journey, building something big, it's as much about self-discovery as it is about business strategy.
Yeah, maybe even more so. The empire matters, obviously, but the story really emphasizes that holding on to your values, knowing yourself through the fight, that might be the true measure of success. Especially when you face external attacks and, crucially, internal betrayal.
It really drives home that these challenges, market forces, rivals, insider threats, your own past, they're not exceptions. They're almost inherent in the process of building something significant and lasting.
Couldn't agree more. This fictional story packs a punch with some very real-world insights into just how demanding and personal that journey can be.
So it leaves us, and you, the listener, with a final thought to chew on, really digging into these themes.
Given everything Jay went through, the sacrifices, the betrayals, the constant fight on his final ascent, does reaching that peak inevitably demand this kind of brutal reckoning with the past? Maybe even a battle for your own soul?
Or perhaps is the real victory found somewhere else entirely? Not in crushing every opponent, but in the self-knowledge, the understanding of what you truly stand for, that you gain along that difficult climb.
Something to definitely reflect on as you navigate your own challenges, whatever your ascent looks like.